welcome back. We are doing the Bible study for true confidence rooted in faith. And this video is going to focus on Proverbs 31, the specific verse of 25. But as I was doing the study, I found all this information that I did not know. I never really did a deep dive into Proverbs 31 woman. As I said to you in the first video, I always thought that was an impossible standard of a person, that I could never try to attain that, and I didn't really understand what it meant. So I love that I found David Gusik's commentary on the Proverbs 31 woman, and that's what I want to spend time in this video about. So let's open in prayer, and we're going to use the Inner Strength prayer from the journal kit. So let's pray together. Lord, grant us the strength to face the challenges before us with confidence, knowing that your power is made perfect in our weakness. Help us to rely not on our own understanding, but on your unending grace. 2 Corinthians 12:9. So let's dive right in. Now, you'd probably get the most out of this video if you were to be on your tablet or on your phone. Go to blueletterbible.org. I have a video if you've never used it before. And you're going to you're going to put in Proverbs 31, okay? And then when it pops up, then you're going to click on Tools. There's a little bar right beside it that says Tools. And when you click Tools, you're going to go over to Commentaries. And then you're going to pick David Guzik commentary on there. And that's what I'm reading from. So if you can get there and join me, you're going to be pretty far down into this commentary that he has, because it's entitled, it's an overview. And that's the part that I really got a lot out of and I wanted to share with you today, is that it's part B of Proverbs 31. Searching for the woman of character and virtue. So I love this part. So I'm going to read this and hopefully you're following along with me. The 22 verses of Proverbs 31 each begin with a successive letter of the Hebrew alphabet. The acrostic construction was used in several psalms, such as Psalms 9 to 10, 25, 37, 111, 112, 119, and 145, and Lamentations 4. The purpose was to make the passage memorable, meaning it was easy to memorize, and to express poetic skill. So this is an alphabet of wifely excellence. I think that's kind of interesting to look at it that way, right? So this and the following verses are acrostic, each beginning with a consecutive letter of the Hebrew alphabet. Proverbs 31:10 is Aleph, which is A. Proverbs 31:11, Beth, which is B. Proverbs 31:12, Gimel, and so to the end of the chapter, the last verse of which has the letter Tau. So the arrangement made memorization easier and perhaps also served to organize their thoughts. We may say then that the poem is an organized arrangement of the virtues of the wise wife. That's what I want us to focus on. Okay, so this says Proverbs 31:10 is where we're going to be at. Searching for and finding a virtuous woman and wife. Well, who can find a virtuous woman is the actual verse. For her worth is far above rubies. Well, let's look at this part. So who can find a virtuous wife? In this last section of Proverbs 31, Lemuel's mother, and if you want to know all about who they think this is, go back to the very top of this commentary, and it goes all through who Lemuel was. I don't want to focus on that. The following verses speak of her character and activity, giving Lemuel an idea of the woman to search for and to prize. So this is his mother talking. So it's a mother talking to her son. This passage is traditionally understood as being addressed to women. But listen to this. I didn't even get this part before. But it's more accurately spoken by a woman to a man, so he could know the character and potential character of a good wife before marriage, and value and praise his wife for her virtuous character once married. So I love this. It's primarily a search list for a man and only secondarily a checklist for a woman. So let's say that again, right? This is a search list for a man. No wonder I felt like I could never do this. and a checklist for a woman. Well, I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, so this passage describes the kind of wife the Christian man should pray for and seek after. This passage is a guide, a goal for a Christian woman, me and you, showing the kind of character she can have. How she get it? This is the key. As she fears and follows the Lord. This passage reminds the Christian man, guess what? Okay, this is good. That he must walk in the fear and wisdom of God so that he will be worthy of and compatible with such a virtuous woman. See, I never got that before. I never understood that. I thought it was telling me I have to do and be all these things, which I found to be impossible, just in looking at the list. But now I'm understanding that if I fear and follow the Lord, I can maybe attain some of these things. And that then if I am with a man, my husband, who fears the Lord, then we're compatible because we both fear and walk with the Lord. And then that shapes both of our characters in a marriage. Is that not like the best part ever? Okay. So she's called a virtuous wife, not because only married women can have these qualities, but because this is marriage guidance from a mother to a son. I try to do that with my boys. The virtuous woman can be single or married, but each will have particular ways the virtue is expressed, either in their singleness or as a family. So some of this is really, really good. Somebody else, Waltke, calls this woman the valiant wife and notes that virtuous wife is translated as the excellent wife of Proverbs 12:4. The term is also applied to men and translated mighty men of valor in 2 Kings 24:14 and able men in Exodus 18:21. That's pretty cool. So here we go again. There's two parts to this, which I never got. I thought it was all about the woman. It's about the man. So he is a man of valor, and the woman is to be an excellent wife. Pretty cool. Okay. Also, as a virtuous woman, a woman of power and strength, full of mental energy. Well, you'd have to be to read the rest of this list of everything the woman does, right? Okay. The vocabulary and the expressions in general have the ring of an ode to a champion. What this woman has did not simply fall to her. It is her victory through wisdom, her hard-won reward. The battle or military allusions are many, including virtuous wife is the same expression translated mighty men of valor in Judges. The word strength is used in other places for great and heroic victories. The word gain is actually the word for plunder, and the expression excel them all is an expression that signifies victory. So these qualities of this virtuous wife are mentioned in previous Proverbs, and as a whole, the Proverbs have much to say about wisdom, a diligent work ethic, wise business practices, honorable speech, compassion for the poor, and integrity. Here, those qualities are explained in connection to the virtuous wife, the Proverbs 31 woman. Okay, couple of things. I'm not going to go through all this. I could be here for hours, but a couple things that I found were really important, where it says her worth is far above rubies. Why is that important? Because rubies are very valuable and they're very rare. Okay. Let's see. The heart, this is the part, I love this part. So now you get down to 11 and 12. The heart of her husband safely trusts her. So the virtuous wife not only has the trust of her husband, but is safely given to her. He trusts her because of who she is. Her character is trustworthy, filled with integrity. She will speak, act, and live with wisdom, and therefore God's blessing will be on their home. Okay, well, yeah, I get all that. But the foolish woman who can't be trusted takes some measure of blessing away from the home, and this is often seen financially or materially. Oh boy, do I know that one true in some people that I know, which I'm not going to go into that. Okay, the other thing that says he will have no lack of gain. Some think a wife is a burden or hindrance to gain a better life, but this is not so in God's plan. And with the presence and influence of a virtuous wife, She brings gain to her husband on many levels and in great measure. See, I didn't know any of this stuff. She does him good and not evil all the days of her life. Okay, let's jump to 13 through 16. Her work and her ingenuity. This, I think, is the part where a lot of women get really stuck. She seeks wool and flax. Well, those are lifelike examples of the hard, busy, creative character of the virtuous wife. She finds ways to make money, basically, is what it's doing. And so she willingly works with her hands. I know I could go off on a tangent. I'll just briefly make this comment. I was raised where I was taught how to cook, how to wash my clothes, how to clean the house, how to take care of myself. And when I mastered that, I could then go on to become a wife and a mother because I already knew how to take care of myself. Now I could take care of my family, right? And that's what this Proverbs 31 says. I also raised my boys with the same ideas. You need to learn how to cook. You need to learn how to wash your clothes. You need to learn to clean your house, clean your room. You need to learn to work with your dad and fix things around the house. That I was helping prepare them to be these men of valor, right? That's the part that I love. So that's the working with your hands part. Okay, her strength and compassion are in verses 17 to 20. She girds herself with strength. Well, here we go again. Using your strength that God gives us for productive purposes. And that she takes care of her health, and that's how we become strong so that we can take care of our families. And remember in the very beginning when it said this list can pertain to women who are not married as well as women who are married. If you're not married, you're going to do all these things for yourself, and hopefully then you're going to seek out people who they're not your family, but you're going to help take care of them. If you're a wife, you're going to do all these things for your family. So you have to know how to take care of yourself. And taking care of yourself in God's ways is not, I know how to call for food delivery. I know how to pay somebody to come and clean my house. I know how to pay somebody to cut my grass. No, God's saying you need to learn how to take care of yourself and your family and do all those things. So that's what those verses are about. And then when you get to 21 to 23, those are God's blessings. So it says, she is not afraid of snow, for her household is clothed with scarlet. She makes tapestry for herself. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. Her husband is known in the gates when he sits among the elders of the land. Let's go into that real quick. She's not afraid of snow for her household. Well, what that meant was the virtuous wife has the wisdom, diligence, and preparation to ready her household for all kinds of challenges and adversity. Okay? So like being prepared, I live in Florida, you have to be prepared for hurricanes all the time. That's what they're saying about not being afraid of snow, right? Her household is clothed in scarlet. Why would that be connected to that she's not afraid? Because the scarlet color of the clothing makes her children easy to find in the heavy snow. Meaning, I take care of my children, make sure that they have the right clothes to wear in case of an emergency. I'm translating that to modern day times, right? Okay, she makes a tapestry for herself. Well, with God's blessing on her wisdom and diligence, she makes good things for herself and enjoys the personal marks of God's material blessings on her family. Her clothing is fine, linen and purple and things like that. Now, here's the part that's so important. Her husband is known in the gates. What the heck does that mean to us today? Well, the virtuous wife sees such a blessing on her family and household. Guess what? Her husband is esteemed and honored among the elders. All this is the blessing of God that often comes to the wife who walks in virtue, wisdom, and the fear of the Lord. Now, I never knew that before, that my doing all those things, or you doing all those things, brings honor and esteem to our husband, which we are to respect men, right? Men are to love their wives, and we are to respect our husbands. So that all fits together, right? And then 24 and 25, we're finally getting to the verse that I quoted to you in this study. Okay, the clothing she sells and the clothing that she has. So it says, she makes linen garments and sells them and supplies sashes for the merchants. Now here, strength and honor are her clothing. she shall rejoice in time to come. So it says the wisdom and diligence means she's not only providing the necessities for her family, but she makes enough and of such great quality that she can actually sell those to the merchants. And that's because she cares so deeply for her family, and her mind and vision go beyond the family to look to the outside world where she does good for herself and her family. Strength and honor are her clothing. What does that mean? The fact that she is willing to distribute and sell linen garments she makes and has shows that her first priority isn't in what is in her closet or what she wears. She cares even more about the display of her character than the outward display of her clothing. When it comes to character, she is one of the best dressed, clothed with strength and honor, so that she shall rejoice not only in the present day, but also in time to come. I want to end that there. You can finish reading the rest of Proverbs 31, her inner life and other things, but I just want to leave us there because this verse helps us. And if you listen to everything I just said, but if more importantly, if you read it, okay? Does that not give you the understanding of being rooted in faith? There's my confidence. Because I fear the Lord, I respect my husband or the men in my life, and I do all the things that God asks us to do in the Proverbs 31 woman. That is where I can now feel and be confident. And that is where God wants me and you to be. I really, really hope that this study has helped you, that you've gone deeper, that it's improved your confidence, not so you can walk around going, I'm strong. No, I'm strong in the Lord. I respect the Lord. I respect men. God gives me this confidence based on what I have done. So I'm going to end it, and hold on, that I want to end in this, the self-worth prayer. God, remind us that our worth is found in you alone. Help us to see ourselves as you see us, chosen, loved, and precious in your sight. Let this truth build our confidence as we live out our faith. 1 Peter 2:9. Thank you, ladies, friends, children, whoever you are that are following me. It would mean so much to me if you would like all of my videos, if you would subscribe to my channel, and if you would share. And this sharing is not like other people on YouTube asking you to share. I ask you to share God's word. Share the videos that I make. Share them with those who you love, who you want to inspire. Maybe you know some young woman who her confidence is all in the wrong things. You could just send the link, copy the link to this video or any of this video in this series, and just say, I follow Diane. I do her studies. And then just share your testimony. How has this affected you? Is your confidence different now? Is it rooted in God and in His Word? Share. That's what sharing means. You get to share the good news. So you're an evangelist by sharing my videos. Thank you so much for this series, and I hope to see you back in our next series.